Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. We'll begin class by laying on our backs. Make your way there, back on the floor, legs long. Palms can face up towards the ceiling, or you can also rest your hands on the belly or chest. And welcome a deep inhale and exhale. Noticing we are cultivating a practice, starting to shift our attention to our breath and our body. Now our breath is going to be our focusing tool throughout the class. You can check in with the quality of your breath at any moment. Inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. We're also scanning our body. Softening the neck, shoulders, down the length of the spine, the hips down, the ankles and toes. Remain here about 5 breaths. Inviting that deep belly breath, that type of breath where you notice that belly expand, rib cage, chest rise. Almost imagine a balloon slowly letting go of air as you exhale. Our breath is that bridge of the physical, mental, and emotional body. Feel free to inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. And then we'll start to activate the body by lifting our arms up overhead. Inhale, fingers. Palms can face towards the back of the room. We'll lift your abdomen, point your toes, into not your heels and toes. Really keep your ankles here. Lengthen throughout the arms, release and open throughout the shoulder blades. Soft stretch in the abdomen as you lift your belly up towards the ceiling. And then release your hands. We'll shift into a restorative pose. Twist, bend your knees, drop your knees to the left, bring your arms out to a T, and then drop your head towards the right. So once again, we're practicing softening the body, and this actually is a practice to cultivate. Because as you're laying here in this twist, you'll notice there's muscle groups that are holding on or lifting or have some tension that don't need to. Soften towards the floor, let the ground support you. We're softening around the neck and shoulders, down the length of the spine. Pay attention to the hips. You can even imagine the palm further towards the floor. Take a soft and comfortable breath. It's a little bit more difficult to take those full belly breaths in a twist. So invite a comfortable breath. Got 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Knees come back to center. Start to drop your knees towards the right and your head towards the left. To get a full benefit of this twist, you want to keep patting your knees to face opposite directions. Once again, scan your neck, shoulders, down the length of your spine, the hips and knees. Seeing where can you soften a little bit more. Invite a comfortable breath. 2 more breath cycles in your twist. And then bring your knees back to center. Now keep your feet planted on the floor. We're going to start activating our strength here. In this case, we're activating strength around the glutes and the quads as we lift our hips up towards the ceiling. So you want to imagine a cord lifting your abdomen up and hold. Gentle stretch here throughout the abdomen. We have an opportunity for full diaphragm breathing, meaning your belly can fully expand. Take one powerful breath here. And then release your hips back down towards the floor. Let's continue to activate that strength, this time throughout the core, glutes and quads. Lift both legs up towards the ceiling. Now you're grounding both palms onto the floor. Release your legs so that your feet float off the floor, 1 foot or 2 feet off the floor, and hold. Take a comfortable breath here. Lots of strength here. Core, glutes and quads. Checking with your breath and release your heels on the floor. Soften the lower back and around the tailbone. Take a breath. Second round out of 3. Bend your knees. Lengthen your legs up towards the ceiling and hold. Slowly start to release your legs. Find that point to comfortably hover and hold. Any shaking is fine. And release the heels down towards the floor. Take a breath, soften the lower back. Last round, bend your knees and then lengthen your legs up towards the ceiling. Adjust your palms, your hands, and then release your legs. Find that point to hover and hold. Release your heels down towards the floor. Bend both knees, feet float off the floor. You want to protect the lower back and the area around the tailbone. We just created a lot of tension there in the lower back. So soften here to massage towards the left, towards the right. And then we'll start to open up our hips. Release your left foot onto the floor and then rest your right ankle right on top of your thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers right behind your thigh and hold here. Most of your attention should be around that right hip. Bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest. Invite a deep belly breath. That breath is there to assist you to notice where your boundary is and pull just a little bit more to a point that's not painful, yet still increasing your flexibility. One more breath. And release. Opposite side, left ankle rests on top of your right thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers right behind that thigh and hold. Bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest, and hold. Notice that stretch on the left side, that left hip. Deep belly breath, fold a little deeper. Now when you fold a little deeper, it can always be a very subtle shift. It doesn't have to be a dramatic shift in your body. Two more breaths. Inhale. And then exhale. Release your feet, hands to your knees, round your spine, forehead toward your knees, chin towards chest. Drop your head back And now lengthen both legs. You're grounding your palms on the floor. We're coming to sit, but keep both legs long. You're going to invite a little bend to your knees. We're preparing to fold down. You want to stretch into the hamstrings. Drop your belly towards your thighs. Hands can reach anywhere. Thighs, shins, your toes. Remain here about 5 breath cycles. Once again, inviting a deep breath. Feel free to hear your inhale and your exhale. And use that breath. Notice your boundary. Work on your flexibility. That means you have to move past that boundary. It can be very subtle. Notice what's releasing. Deep belly breath. Feet can be relaxed or flexed. If you flex your feet, you're going to deepen the stretch into the calf muscles. And then release, slowly lengthening the spine. Press both soles of the feet together. Knees are bent. Fold over. Elbows can rest around the creases of your knee. 3 to 5 breaths here. Dropping your belly towards the floor. One more breath. Release the pose. Start to shift into your tabletop. We'll extend this stretch up into our arms, our side body. Press that right hand and make sure first that right hand is right beneath your right shoulder. Now lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. So I'm purposely extending and lengthening my arm and then pressing that hand back. So you're opening up around the shoulder more. You can take your gaze up towards the ceiling or release your gaze down towards the floor. Release, opposite side, lift that right arm up towards the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe. Release your hand, inhale up, cow pose. Lift your tailbone. Exhale, down. Exhale, cat pose, rounding your spine. Now lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips to the left. You're opening your the glutes and hips in the lower back. Round your spine, knee towards chest, chin towards chest. Hover, pressing through your palms. Arms are active. And now lengthen your leg, bend your knee, stack your hips, hold. Release your knee down towards the floor. Inhale up, cow pose. Cat pose. Chin towards chest, the rounding of the spine, and release, neutral spine. Now lengthen that right leg, bend your knee, stack your hips. Pay attention to your lower back, both glutes. Right hip. Let that left knee, the top of your left foot ground you here as you press through your palms. Round your spine, chin towards chest, knee towards chest. Spine is rounded. Lengthen your leg, bend your knee, stack your hips. Deep belly breath. Release your knee, one cow and cat pose. One more time, inhale up. Exhale. Feel free to hear your exhale as you breathe out. And then shift neutral spine. We're shifting into our forward fold. Now as you lift up to your forward fold, receive the benefit of this pose. Your torso is totally relaxed. And legs are active. Tap your elbows with your hands and rock towards the left and towards the right. That's going to shift the stretch into the hamstrings here. And the lower back. Rock your belly towards your thighs. Relax your neck. Always notice your head and your neck here. And now take your hands to your shins. We're going to inhale halfway up. Now when you inhale halfway up, your back is flat, and then purposely draw your shoulders back here. You can breathe into your hamstrings. Exhale, release. We're going to sweep our arms up overhead, grounding through our heels, lengthening your spine. Hands meet in front of our heart center. We're noticing our left hand press against right hand press against left hand. Generous breath. You can inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale again. Exhale, sigh it out. One more breath. It's a practice of presence here. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. Release your hands. We're going to go ahead and create a flow for ourselves, moving into 3 Sun Salutations. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, fold down to your forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, step back into your plank pose. Core is active, release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Shift into your down dog. Chest moves towards your thighs here. Take a deep breath. Now take your gaze between your hands, walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale halfway up, hands to your shins. Exhale, release. We're going to sweep our arms up overhead. Hands meet in front of your heart center. Anytime we're lifting up to standing, it's a good time to welcome your breath, welcome this present moment. Release your hands, arms lift. You're extending the spine. Exhale, you're hinging at the hips, folding down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back, plank pose. Hands are beneath your shoulders, core lifted up towards the ceiling. Release down towards the floor, inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're pressing firmly through your palms here. Take your gaze between your hands, walk or jump up to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, and sweep our arms up overhead. You're noticing the edges of your feet, your big toe, spine extends. Hands in front of your heart center, remain your breath. Inhale. Exhale, last Sun Salutation, arms lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back into your plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. And then we meet at our downward facing dog. Remain here in your down dog. Second breath cycle in your down dog. Now shift into a plank pose. We're going to hold our plank pose, lifting our core up towards the ceiling. Lift back up, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Plank pose, hold your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale. Lift back up. Downward facing dog. Take a generous breath in your down dog. And now shift back down, plank pose. Hold your plank pose. You're inhaling, exhaling. From plank pose, lift back up into your downward facing dog. Lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips and hold. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Take a generous breath. Now lift that right leg, bend your right knee, stack your hips. Hips are open here, full body strength, deep belly breath. Release your foot down towards the floor. And then step down into your child's pose. Either knees close together or towards the edges of your mats. 3 to 5 breaths in your child's pose. Inviting the breath that most supports you in this moment. One more breath. Release the pose. Shift from your child's pose into your neutral tabletop, hands beneath your shoulders, knees, hips width distance apart. Inhale up into your cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. After your cat pose, soften your spine. You can take your hands forward just a little bit. Lift up, downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. Lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips and hold. And then release your foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift that right leg, bend your knees, stack your hips and hold. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms up overhead. Grounding through your heels. Hands meet in front of your heart center. We're going to take a breath here. You can inhale here. Exhale, side out. Shift into your warrior two. Taking your left foot forward and right leg steps back. There's a natural opening to the hips. Left arm over that left thigh. Right arm behind you. You're imagining a line of energy from one fingertip to the other. Your legs are grounded and they're strong. Inhale. Exhale, start to sweep that right arm over. Imagine you're holding a ball between your legs. Hold. Inhale here. Exhale. Drop your elbow to your thigh. Lift that right arm up towards the sling and fold. Lift up through your core, ground through your heels. Hold that ball between your hands. Warrior two, take your gaze over that left hand. Inhale here, exhale. Release that right hand behind your thigh. Lift your left arm up. Side body stretch or strengthening throughout the lower back. Back to warrior two. Take your gaze over that left hand. Keep a bend to that left knee. Inhale, exhale. And then drop those hands to frame that left foot. Pivot your right foot. So now your right toes face the front. Step that left foot back. Plank pose. Hold your plank toes. Shift that downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Soften the neck. Lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Now lift that right leg, bend that right knee, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Take your gaze between your hands. Walk or jump up to that forward fold. Let's inhale halfway up. And then exhale, release, sweep your arms up overhead. Gather your breath here, 1 to 3 breaths, hands in front of your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Deep belly breath. And then start to prepare for your warrior two. Right foot forward, left leg steps back. Right arm, left arm behind you. Right arm in front. Hold. You're taking your gaze over that right hand. Your gaze is steady. Ground through your heels. Imagine you're holding a ball between your hands. Swing that left arm over. Sink into that right hip. Take a breath. And now release that right elbow right onto your thigh. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale. Lift through your core. Hold that ball between your hands. Inhale, exhale. Keep a bend to that right knee. Warrior two. Take your gaze over that right hand. Release your left hand behind your thigh. Lift your right arm up. Keep a bend to that right knee. Inhale. Exhale. Back to warrior two. Take your gaze over that right hand. Inhale here. Exhale. Swing that left arm over. Both hands frame that right foot. Pivot your left foot. Step back. Plank pose. Hold your plank pose. Lift back up. Downward facing dog. Take a breath here in your down dog. And now lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift that right leg, bend that right knee, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Plank pose, hold your plank pose, and now release all the way down towards the floor. Drop your belly on the floor. Either interlace your fingers behind you or shoot your hands out. You're going to inhale up, feet float up, chest floats up, exhale, release. Use your breath 4 more times. Inhale up, exhale, release. You're engaging around the glutes. Core is active. Legs are strong. Bring your shoulder blades closer together. Move through your 4th round and 5th round. And then on that 5th round, remain there an extra breath. Inhale, exhale. Another cycle of breath. And release your cheek on the floor. Collapse your body. Soften your neck. Soften your shoulders. Down the length of your spine. Gather that breath that's most supportive of you right now. Notice that we can practice relaxing the body, yet still remaining attentive and focused. Notice the quality of your breath, perhaps increasing the inhale and exhale ever so slightly. It's difficult to take those deep breaths when we're on our belly, but do take a comfortable breath. Two more breaths here. And after you've completed that next breath, we're going to take our hands to frame our chest. Now we're going to lift our arms and legs. Inhale up, and then exhale, release. Move with your breath, inhaling up. Exhale, release. Use that inhale to help find that lift. Find that strength in the lower back, mid back, lots of core strength here. You want a total of 5 rounds. Move to your 4th round and your 5th round. Make sure your shoulders stay away from your ears. And then on that 5th round, remain there an extra breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Exhale.
Take a look at the help section. You're on that section.
And then release the pose. Drop your cheek on the floor. Softening your neck, down the length of your spine. Relaxing your body, yet still remaining attentive and aware and present. Focus on your breath with a comfortable breath. If you're ever having trouble with concentration, all you have to do is increase your inhale just a little longer than you're accustomed to, as well as your exhale. Two more breaths here. Inhale, exhale. We'll start to shift your hands back to frame your chest. So this time we're going to bend our knees. We're going to take one around where we take our hands behind us. Just shoot your fingertips behind you. Now purposely draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest. Hold. And then release. Now you can do that again, or you can grab your ankles with your hands. We're going for our bow pose. And now when I'm here, I kick my legs back or my ankles into my hands. Draw your shoulder blades closer together. Lift your chest and then release. Two more times. Lift up. You're engaging around the glutes. And release. Third round. Hold. And then release. Take your hands to frame your chest. Inhale up, upward facing dog, and then shift into your down dog. Either remain in your downward facing dog or take your vinyasa, plank pose. Shift down towards the floor, inhale up, and then meet up at that downward facing dog. Deep belly breath. Once in that downward facing dog, lift your left leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift that right leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor, drop your knees, and then step back into a child's pose. 3 to 5 breaths in your child's pose. Dropping your chest towards the floor, belly as well. Take a breath here, intentional breath. Inhale, exhale. Start to inch that left hand towards the right corner of your mat. And then release. Inch your right hand towards the left corner of your mat. Hold. And release. Lift up, tabletop, checking your knees. Hips width distance apart and beneath your knees. Hands right beneath your shoulders. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine. You can't underestimate how powerful these two simple poses are in protecting the lower back, mid back, and upper back. Move at your own pace with your breath. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, lift up into your cow pose. One more round wherever you're at. Take one more cow pose, one more cat pose. And then transition to your seat. Ground your sit bones on the floor. We're going to take about 3 breaths here. Remain where you're at. Either cup your forearms with your hands or shift into a reverse prayer. That's with both palms touch. And then you bring your hands towards your mid-back. Take a soft breath. One more breath. Release your hands. Now take your right hand over that left knee and then twist towards the left. You're taking your chin towards your left shoulder. You're lengthening the spine and purposely gripping that knee to intensify the twist. Release. Left hand grabs that right knee, twist towards the right. You're lengthening the spine, deepening that twist. Inhale here, exhale. And release. Interlace your fingers, draw your shoulder blades together, lift your chin. Hold. And then release. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, palms up towards the ceiling, stretch towards the left. And then towards the right. Don't forget your breath. Back to center, round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest, palms towards the front. Release hands on your knees, take your chin towards your right shoulder. And then opposite side. Lift your chin up towards the ceiling. Release your chin towards your chest. One more time, chin towards your right shoulder. Chin towards your left shoulder. Chin up towards the ceiling. And drop your chin towards your chest. Notice the stretch in the neck, upper back. Bring your head back to neutral, either eyes open or closed. 5 breaths. Part of that holistic yoga practice is inviting that stillness. Inhale and exhale. As we welcome our breath, we welcome our experience. At any point, inhale here, exhale, side out. Inhale. Exhale. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open your eyes. Go ahead and lengthen your legs out in front. Make sure you have room to lay down. However, what we're going to go ahead and invite a stretch throughout the abdomen and also open up the throat and open throughout the shoulders. So drop your elbows onto the floor. And then as you're here, you're activating your core strength. You're lifting the abdomen as you're simultaneously dropping your head back. back. So make sure you're lifting that up, and that's going to help you feel more supported as you drop your head totally back, opening the throat. Your head is cradled by your shoulders. One more breath. Exhale, release. Take an inhale here, exhale, side out, soften around the tailbone. We're going to bend both knees and then grab our feet with our hands. Start to lengthen one knee more than the other. Lengthen your legs. You can open up your hips. You can rock to the left, to the right. You want to get one of the final stretches here throughout your legs. Your toes and heels down to your calves and hamstrings and hips and glutes. Lower back, even your mid back and upper back as you rock to the left and to the right. Don't forget your breath, deep belly breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Bring your knees close together, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest. Hold, elbows remain tucked close to your thighs. You're holding the pose. And then drop your head back, soles of the feet to touch. We'll take one breath here, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Hands framing your hips. Take a breath here. And then we'll take one breath, hands in front or on your chest, your belly. Notice the rise and fall of the chest. You can discern that more with your hands on your body. And then lift your arms up overhead, elbows bent, your head in the center of a diamond here. Back to the hand on the floor. Perhaps there's more of a little arch to your spine. That's fine. Another deep belly breath here. So we'll remain here in this butterfly pose, feet touching, knees bent, for quite some time, about 10 breaths. So adjust your hand position, your arm position, and what supports you most. Hands framing your hips, hands on your chest and heart, belly, or hands lifted up overhead, backs of the hands on the floor. Our restorative pose as we start to conclude our practice. Your body is supported by the ground. Purposely soften down the neck and spine, especially around the hips. So there's lots of opening there. And here is a pose, unlike a forward fold or a twist or when we're on our bellies. Here is a pose where we have access to expanding our belly as much as we can. So take a few breath cycles, noticing the full expansion of your inhale and exhale to a point that's comfortable. And notice that throughout your day, you can always return to this full breath. Once you've taken a few long breaths, feel free to bring your breath back to a natural rhythm. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest or belly. See where can you soften 10% further, just a little bit. Three more breaths in your butterfly pose. You're going to start to shift out of your butterfly pose to your last resting pose or your Shavasana. However, if there's one more pose you need to feel more complete, you can take a moment with that last pose, whatever that looks like for you. Whether you're beginning your Shavasana or exploring that last pose, return to your breath. Let that breath assist you to deepen into the pose. Always noticing that paradox, that balance between effort and ease. Even in Shavasana, why is it difficult sometimes to relax? As you settle into Shavasana, notice that this pose is a pose of releasing expectations, of noticing the wisdom of doing nothing. It's a pose that integrates your practice. It's also the pose we hold the longest in yoga. Despite the diversity of yoga classes offered, this last resting pose is pretty universal. It's an important pose. You can practice some deep breathing, or you can let your breath go back to its regular rhythm, no control of the breath. And then to the best of your ability, practice observing any thoughts, any sensations without judgment, just really noticing, cultivating that skill of not labeling anything necessarily as good or bad, just observing. Welcome your breath and your body, your experience with gratitude. We'll soften around the forehead and jaw and neck, to the shoulders, down the length of your arms, wrists, palms, fingertips. There's a metaphor here that our hands tend to do so much and clench and hold and do so much for us. Soften your hands, let go. Soften down the spine, the upper back, mid back, and lower back, all the way down to the tailbone. Soften around the hips, behind the knees. Down to your ankles and toes. We'll start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting a generous and leisurely inhale and exhale. You can restore some movement to your fingertips and your toes. You have the option of inviting a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, interlacing your fingers, and or you can drop your body to one side, allowing it to remain heavy and relaxed. Once more, invite a generous breath, a leisurely breath, a distinct type of breath. And then once you've taken another breath here or two, you can start to make your way up to your seat, cross-legged or on your ankles, or if you need to stretch your legs out, that is available as well. In gratitude and in presence, we settle into our bodies. Eyes can be closed or you can open your eyes. Either way works. And then we'll take a moment here to welcome our breath, noticing that as we welcome our breath, we welcome our experience. And so with that, we'll seal the class in honor of our breath, in honor of our bodies, in honor of our experience. We take our hands in front of our chest, in front of our heart center. And then intentional inhale here, intentional exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. Namaste.